Hi, my name is Sharon, and as y'all know, sometimes I write spoken word when I'm just trying to express my feelings and everything. I wrote another one, well, several, but I'll probably only read you one, and it's called "Dear Me: The Untold Truth." Okay. Okay. Dear younger me, the one I refuse to see, the one buried under the mirrors and the need to belong. I was chasing approval like oxygen, breathing in the world exportation and exhaling pieces of myself. I let the whispers sculpt me into a stranger. I worried more about how I looked than how I lived. I tried to fit the picture everyone else framed, the one labeled normal, but normal never liked me. I thrived on approval but suffocated under it. Anxiety was a constant smoke, and I forgot how to breathe. Dear victim me, you weren't bullied, you weren't loved either, and somehow the silence hurt worse. Sorry I didn't stand up for you. You wore long skirts like armor and jackets like shields. Thinking if they couldn't see your weight, maybe it wasn't real. Stop playing in gym, so no jiggle can make you giggle. Make them giggle. You rehearse your reading lines early, so you wouldn't stumble. You sat in the front so no one would see. You squeezed through the aisles. The smile when your name became a punchline. Lunch detention was torture. The chairs too small, the eyes too big. You planned your life like a chess game. Every move had to protect your peace. Even in college, even at graduation, you carried that same checklist of survival. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the anxiety I kept feeding you, for shoving you into a dark corner just to keep others comfortable. Dear lonely me, you gave so much just to be seen. You weren't invisible, they just refused to look. I'm sorry for making every refuse to look. I'm sorry for every plan made in front of you. Maybe next time that meant never. Sorry that you called crumbles connections and believed that was enough. You lied to your parents about friends so the lie can feel real for a second. Only one friend came to your birthday in 22 years, and you called it a blessing. You poured love into people who didn't know how to hold it. You would beg while worse, please stay. And when they left, you told yourself it was your fault. You didn't want to beg for love, but you would if it meant they stayed, and that what hurts the most. Dear worry me, the one who carried everyone else's rainstorm in your backpack. You called it empathy, but exhaustion in disguise. You cried yourself to sleep, hoping someone would take the stress away, but no one ever does. You fix everyone else's broken wing and wonder why you can't fly. You worry about winter and falling, about your mom not calling, about silence being lost. You worry about things that haven't happened yet, because fear feels safer than surprise. You check the oven twice, triple lock the door, and still feel unsafe in your own skin. And then there's winter, God, the winter. Think of the ice, and your body remembers. You remember the fall, the pain that stayed, the way the cold made you tense before you even stepped outside. You skipped school, skipped events, stayed home, not because you wanted to, because the fear wrapped its hand around your knees and whispered, what if it happens again? You imagined falling before you even walked, you rehearsed the pain before you even arrived. And people don't get it. They think it's just weather, but for you, it's war. You still check the ground before the sky. Still choose staying in over living out. It's not laziness, it's trauma wearing snow boots. Scared, but you keep going anyways, even if going means staying still. Dear angry me, I know you. You clench your jaw in your sleep, swallowing rage like medicine and call it fine. You're angry that peace keeps slipping through your hands. Angry that your safe space was stolen. that your mom's tired, that you can't act without feeling like it's a burden, angry that you have to play referee in a war you didn't start, angry that no one cared how much the fighting broke you, how it ruined birthdays and game nights, how you sat in the living room scared someone would say the wrong thing and start another battle. No one apologized for how small that made you feel. You even blamed yourself for not stopping it. Angry that Trey left. Angry that you never got to say goodbye. Angry that grief moved in and never paid rent. Angry that drifted too. Still texted, but it's not the same. You're angry that everyone seemed too busy for you. Well, you dropped everything for them. You're angry that your body still feels like an apology. You're angry that you hid your truth once. Afraid to tell your dad you're bisexual because of his jokes. You told him now and he was fine with it. Now you just wish you didn't wait. You're angry because you care so deeply and no one seems to notice how much it cost you. Dear depressed me. You were a ghost inside your own skin. Smiling so no one would ask. Laughing so no one would listen too closely. Then every night you broke. The kind of crying that shakes the bed and leaves your chest sore in the morning. You laid there with hands over your mouth, tears soaking the pillow, begging the universe for someone to notice. You wanted a knock on the door, a whisper, "What's wrong?" but no one came. You were screaming in your head. The words would never come out. Sometimes you started crying mid-meal, ashamed of being hungry, ashamed of existing. You stared at the mirror and disgust swallowed you whole. You punished yourself for a mistake that wasn't yours, hit your head when you messed up, called yourself names, stupid, worthless, nothing, until they sounded true. And then the thoughts got darker. You didn't want to live anymore. You weren't looking for attention. You wanted quiet. You wanted rest. You wanted peace. When it became too much, you told your mom. You whispered, "I didn't want to live anymore." You saw the fear in her eyes, and it kind of freezes time. And in that moment, you knew you couldn't do it. You couldn't hand your pain to her. You couldn't make your family cry like that. You cared too much. You loved too much. And that love, the same love that made you worry about everyone else, saved you. You stayed because you loved them more than you hate yourself. College came, and for a while, you breathed easier. You laughed. It felt real. You started believing you might be okay. Then Trey died. And being told split your heart open. The world blurred. You didn't want to die. You just didn't know how to keep living. You missed him so much it hurt to breathe. You saw him everywhere. In strangers, in dreams, in songs that wouldn't stop hurting. You never got to say goodbye. Never got to tell him how his voice steadied you. When you were falling apart, you haven't realized how much you needed him. Until the silence answered back. After that, everything dulled. Food had no taste, music no color. You cried waking, you cried sleeping, you cried in between. You were just so sad, so tired, so human. Still, you stayed. You stayed because even when you didn't want to be here, your love refused to let go. You stayed for them. You stayed because their pain would have been worse than your own. Dear everyone, I'm not mad. I don't want you to feel bad. I just got tired. Tired of holding everything in. Tired of pretending to be strong when I feel so weak inside. I spent years carrying secrets that were never meant to be carried alone. I needed someone to say, it's okay to break sometimes. If you ever wonder why I pulled away, why I went quiet, it wasn't hate, it was exhaustion. It was trying to hold the world together with hands that was already shaking. I'm not asking for pity, I just need you to understand. Even now, some of this is still real. Some days I still fight for those voices. I'm doing better now. I'm still here. Dare me. I see you now, every version of you. The younger, the victim, the lonely, the worried, the anger, the depressed. You survived them all. And still showed up to life. Carried pain like air. And still learned how to breathe through it. You spent years trying to stay strong while you was breaking. But you don't have to hide anymore. You just need to tell your truth. to let it out, to stop pretending strength meant silence. Because this honesty, this ache, this confession is what makes you human. You forgive yourself now. For every time you cried inside into the dark, for every time you thought you were the problem, for believing your softness was weakness, you forgave yourself for imperfections. You thanked yourself for staying alive long enough to see what strength really is. Some of the pain still lingers. It no longer defines you. It reminds you that you feel deeply. That's a gift, not a flaw. You couldn't save yourself back then, but you saved yourself now by speaking, by facing the mirror, by choosing to exist anyway. You turned every why me into I'm still here. So dear me, thank you for surviving when it felt impossible, for forgiving when it wasn't deserved, for loving even when it hurted. You're not the same girl who cried into her pillow. You are her grown-up miracle. You are every version of you, stitched together by truth, softened by time, and still standing. And when you look back, I hope you see not the hurt, but the heartbeat beneath it. Because through every version of you, the one constant was there. You never stopped trying to find light. You spoke your truth. You let yourself be human, and you stayed. And maybe that's not just surviving. Maybe that's becoming. Maybe that's what it means to win. Thank you.